Broadcasting to you from a little grass shack in the middle of the Pacific.
Live in the place to be.
Well, they're actually in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
but they are the premier Pacifica show that shines a spotlight on positive Pacific Islanders.
You listening to the sound.
Role models coming brown every Thursday night at 6.
East to west, we getting hurt.
Brought to you by Pacifica by Design. It's the iconic FICA podcast with your hosts, Naki and Carl.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, happy Juneteenth.
Happy Juneteenth. Any special things for you on Juneteenth? Do you do anything special? You're off, right?
I'm just off of work. That's all. I get to take the day off and go back tomorrow. They should move it to the closest, either Friday or Monday.
I think that's hard.
In my opinion.
I think it's hard because of the title. Juneteenth, right? It's supposed to be like Labor Day, Memorial Day, that kind of thing. It's hard to move one that's actually got the date in the name of it. But I hear you. That way more people would be off.
Did you have to work?
I did have to work. I went to the dentist and I worked. So, man, that was I hadn't been it's been a long time since I missed a dentist appointment, and I go every 6 months, and I missed my last one because I was changing insurance between companies. So I missed my last one, and I was kind of like, because the longer you miss, the harder it is to clean teeth, right? So I figured it was going to be blood and guts and all bad. And nope, all good. No cavities, no bad stuff. If I was a little kid, I would have got a lollipop.
Awesome. Well, our guest today is the ever amazing, incredible, fabulous community leader. So smart. Like, he's everything. And, he's not here. He's down south, but he's doing great work down there. And we're so happy to have had a conversation with Pastor PK Thompson.
Pausa will be on in the second half. It's an interview that because of the pastor's very busy schedule, we decided the best thing to do is pick a time that works for him, not constrain him to 6 o'clock on Thursdays. Yes. So we nailed that interview down, had a great talk with the pastor and the things that he's got coming up, exciting stuff coming up. So
exciting stuff. I'm excited to talk about it. And I mean, to get this group to come and tour, I'm kind of giving it all away, but
stick around.
One of the saddest things that's happened to us. Hey, family, Christina Mawia. We'll talk about
Amu in the house.
One of the saddest things that's happened to us in the last 9 years. Our guest that we had last week, Afa Alu and Benjamin Powell. Unfortunately, Afa Alu went to the No Kings protest in Utah and was fatally shot and died last week. So, our condolences and love to, his family. It's awful, just awful.
39 years old. And maybe I'm just old that 39 seems like a kid to me. And I know if you're in your 20s, 39 sounds old.
Yeah.
If you get to 39, you're going to realize how young 39 is in the grand scheme of life. So crazy because on Sunday, I was talking to our very own Leah Fa'aleava and Dr. Ty Fa'aleava after church, and we were talking literally about that. And Leah was talking about how long she's been a fan of Afa, right? So we stood there and talked for about a good 10 minutes about the interview, about the fashion show coming up. Leah was talking about that. I think that she wanted him to, she was thinking about
Designing her
him
wedding
designing
dress.
her wedding dress, and then we all hop in our cars, and I am not 5 minutes down the road. I don't even think I'm all the way to the freeway yet from
Mhm.
the church. And uh, she texted me. She said, "Oh my gosh, OMG, Alpha died." And I was like, "What? What? Alpha? The Alpha we were just talking about that was on the show last week?"
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of how important like living and making sure you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, because you
Yeah.
never know. You
You
just
never know.
never know.
You never know. And so, Leah, I got the same text from Leah, and I think I was in shock. And I forget where I was on Sunday, but Anale, who set up the interview for us, um, she texted me and just said Nacky. And I said, "Oh, I'll answer her, when I get to." Oh, it's Father's Day, because it was
Yeah.
Father's Day. We went to lunch and I seen that she texted me. She just said Nacky. And then I was in lunch. So when I got out of lunch, I seen that she texted me and I was like, "Oh, Amelie text me." But then Leah texted and said what she said. And then I texted Amelie back. Just all I said was no. And she was devastated. And she said, "I'm devastated. I don't know what to say, what to do." And so she was like, literally, like, they talk every day. So it was just, her and Benjamin Powell, and whew, it
Sometimes
just
you get the um, if you get somebody passes away and you get
mm.
the how do I put this? You don't get any bad words about, like, people just don't say bad things,
Oh my
right?
god. Oh
This
my
was not one of those. It wasn't where people just weren't. It wasn't
right,
the absence of bad things. The
right.
outpouring of testimonials of what kind of person he was, the impact he had on people's lives, the just wide reach and footprint
Yes,
of how
yes.
far he reached has been amazing to read on social media and the news. It's not just social media. This is not
It's
something that's
news.
confined to the PI community. It's
Yes.
news. It's flat, just news, not just news for PIs.
Yeah, because not only was he was, hi brother, Malo is on.
Hi,
Um,
Malo.
Not only was he, very heavy into our community. Like, he went and did community events, flew to the Bay Area to do the pageant that we went to. He was a judge, Miss Samuel at Golden Gate. He helped with a sewing class that was happening there. Um, he was everywhere, and that's all I seen in my news feed was he helped here, he went to Samoa, helped Brown Girl Woke, he was with Samoan Solutions, he was with PICP, he was
He touched
everywhere
lives. Yeah.
in the world doing great work. And so
Speaking of the world,
Amani,
Aotearoa Amani Fauso from New
Mrs. Wisdom,
Zealand. I
thank
don't know
you for
what time it is in New Zealand, but thank you for tuning in.
yes. So to get the call, to get that call that he had passed, and we had just talked to him on Thursday, was so,
It was surreal.
so
It
heartbreaking.
it
So
didn't seem real.
it just was not real.
Surreal. Yep. Anna
Yes,
saying the same thing.
same thing. He would literally Thursday, Anna, and then Sunday we get the call, and it was so sad for his family. Like, we were in shock. We were in shock, and just we're so grateful for the time. But that was him. He was giving his time everywhere, and so it was just crazy to see, and huge, huge loss to our community and to the world. To the world. So he was the first someone to compete in Project Runway, season 17. Um, he
he had
was on
just
Vogue
gotten
USA.
he had just gotten his citizenship last year. I was reading
Wow.
that some of the comments of
Right.
he had just got so the No Kings
Hmm.
it was personal to him and he had gone to a few of those. I think that was the third
Yes.
second
Yeah.
or third protest that he was at. But just to be a victim of gun violence, knowing that the person he is, like we've all probably know knuckleheads where
Hmm.
if they got shot, you'd be like, yeah, well, that's where they run. That's
Yeah.
I'm set,
But
but that is not at all the
what
situation
happened?
here.
It was a
And
peaceful
yeah,
demonstration and ugh, just senseless. It was just crazy the way that it happened. Lita, yes, we feel like 100%. Hi, Mary.
hi
Um,
Mary.
so yeah, just my heart pours out to his wife and kids that happened on Father's Day. You know, it was just on us saying that he came from a protest before he did his last interview with us. Of course
Yeah.
he did. Of course. It's just, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this world. Is going crazy. Is going crazy. And
He
what do we do about it?
he leaves behind his wife Laura, Vera, and Isaac. So our
Mhm.
thoughts and prayers go obviously to the family.
Yeah.
And we've had discussions of this, right? The GoFundMe jumped over $300,000 in 24 hours, um, and I think there's over 9,000 people that have donated. And the thought of wow, that's a lot of money. It's the rest of their lives,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
off is gone, not for the rest of this year or next year. It's
For the
they're
rest.
looking at the rest of their lives. So
But it
our
just
hearts,
showed how much he was loved, how
yeah.
he moved people, and oh,
I think that part of it is, and you and I have talked about this, that you make people feel right.
mm, mhm.
There's some of those 9,000 people have probably never heard of him before, and then saw the story, right?
Yeah.
The
The
story of
loss.
his life, and we're like,
Right.
oh, I want to donate. And I think that's what we talked about, that it's beyond just the PI community. This is a
Right.
newsworthy item on the I guess a world platform, I would say. So
Right. Right.
crazy moment, gun violence. Again, that is a topic. So I think if I read it right, the uh, the actual shooter hasn't been named yet. The shooter still unnamed, and the shooter was shooting at somebody who had an assault rifle in the crowd.
Mm.
So the thought there is, was he going to, was that person, Arturo Gamboa, I think was his name, was he going to start shooting people, right? So there's a lot of stuff to be uncovered, but to me, none of it brings him back, right? No matter
Yeah.
how it happened,
No matter
it's
how you try to
right.
figure it
No matter
out, there's
whether it
no
was the
bringing it back.
organizers that put the guy there that pulled the trigger, or whether the guy showed up on his own, or who he was shooting at, or all that. When you unwind it, it's still heartbreakingly sad.
It's so heartbreaking and it's so sad. And I was checking on Anale and their team to see how they were doing and let them know if there's anything. Yeah, I mean, what can you do? You know what I
Right.
mean? What can you do? Another report to clarify. Okay, we got to go look at that report. She's saying no, he was not. They recently sent out another report to clarify. Yeah, Epi, it what a loss. I mean, what a loss. We didn't know that the last
Right.
time that he spoke publicly was last week. Like we were like, oh, we're gonna because of the creative Pacific fashion show. That's we're like, oh, he's starting here. He's gonna move. We're gonna see him all over the place doing interviews because of the fashion show that's coming up that him and Benjamin put on every year. And so I mean, I think we just take things for granted that we're gonna see somebody,
Yeah.
and it's a loss.
Tomorrow's not promised
Tomorrow's not promised.
to any
100.
of us. So yeah, and I get the point that I guess there's new reports out, but that's my point, right? No
Yeah.
matter how the new reports flesh out, whether it's this or it's that,
Mhm.
he was
He's
still
still,
killed. Like
yeah,
the family's
he's
still
still not.
without a father, without a husband. Uh, there's family that don't have him anymore. So just it's heartbreaking. Um, and oh yeah, that
Yeah,
and it was funny because we've been at events that he's been at, and we
yeah,
just didn't get we didn't get the interview, and then we finally nail it down. So um, yeah,
sad.
thoughts and prayers to the family that have to live
Definitely.
without him now.
and all the friends and family, all the millions of people lives that he touched. So it's so sad, so sad. So hopefully we don't know what's going to go on with the Creative Pacific Fashion Show. I still have it on community announcements just because it would make sense for Benjamin and his team to continue because Alpha was so passionate about the way he spoke about it last week. So we'll see. We'll see.
I would imagine that he would want it to go on, but at the same time, people are going through trauma at this
Right,
point. So
right.
who knows? And then possibly maybe reach out to Donald A and see if they want to make an announcement as to what they want to do with it. Right? I'm sure the community um, will whatever.
Yeah.
If the attendance is going to be huge, I would think because if it happens, there's going to
Yes, it's
be people that
definitely
want to
gonna
honor him.
sell out. Right, right. It's most definitely gonna sell out. And so um Lisa says it'll still be on. Yeah, so of course it will. You know what I mean? Like, of course, they still want to carry on what he started. So I believe that to be true. That was our shock. I think I was in shock all week. And then my husband, Mo, was like, he was just like on the news feed, and getting on YouTube and watching everything that Alpha was on. But you really didn't have to search far because everyone was, my whole news feed was all Alpha. Everybody shouting him out. So awful, awful. We
So
have, um,
it was interesting the interview, right? He talked about he's doing what he loves. Like
yes,
he gets up every day and does what he loves, and that's I think that I don't know who said that. Like everybody dies, right? But not everybody lives. Like
yes,
he lived his
he lived.
passion.
He 100% lived. That was beautifully said. Thank you for that. Um, let's see what Anna says. Remember last week how he wanted our younger generation to learn and grow from the events. Yes, that's still going to carry on, especially with the Creative Pacific Fashion Show that's going to happen. I believe they said July 31st to August or August 2nd. But all the events, he inspired so many people to do sewing classes, like Samoan Solution had sewing classes. Pacific Island Together had just recently had a sewing class. Fashion, I mean, ugh, it's just heartbreaking, the loss. But he's going to inspire so many. It's such an inspiration for him. Like you said, he was living his life. So hopefully that's what we'll all continue to do, is live the best way we can, and continue to do what we love, right? Do what we love and be nice to everybody, and be nice, people. Let's be nice to everyone. So we have tons and tons of just amazing folks that are doing work in the community. But this was such a huge, huge loss because he was everywhere. He wasn't just helping people in Utah. He was like flying to England, flying
Right.
to Samoa, flying to California, flying to, Los Angeles, right? Like that's California, but Texas, and just everywhere, just everywhere.
Did he
So
get a royal invite
yes, he
in
did.
England?
He was in I think he was invited to the UK by the Queen, Queen Elizabeth II, I believe.
Probably.
Um, Queen, yes, he was invited
Must be
to
right.
Buckingham Palace by Queen Elizabeth II. Let me read his bio again, just so. He
Yep.
was born in Samoa. Um, my mama's like, love you, family. She's downstairs. She flew in. Born and raised in Samoa, Afa is not only, he was a proud son of the Pacific, but a true trailblazer in the global fashion scene. Of course, he was living in Utah with Laura and his two kids, Vera and Etty. He spent 15 years turning his creative vision into art that has been seen, celebrated all over the world. He made history as the first Samoan to compete on Project Runway season 17. And he just broke tons and tons of barriers, both as a designer and a leader in creative spaces. And he was on major publications like Vogue USA, Vogue UK, Elle magazine, and like we mentioned, he was invited to Buckingham Palace by Queen Elizabeth II. So just a huge loss. So I think we just wanted to recognize, what had happened last week. We were so humbled and honored that he and Benjamin came on to share their story and to talk about one of their passions, Creative Pacific. So thank you. And
Ooh, that's
wow,
heavy.
that's that was heavy. So, and that show, like usually our show, he will be, what was I going to say? Oh, our show. So last week, usually our shows, like if we have guests, like during the live is like, a handful of people will watch. And then during the week, that's when, when people are listening in their cars or during the week, while you're having lunch. So during the week, when I check to see, it's usually like, I don't know, 40 to 50, 30 to 50,000 people will view the FICA podcast.
100,000 is a big show. We hit 100,000 every now and then, but that's a big show.
Yeah. Last week, I think the last I checked, we were at 250,000 people viewed the show last week, or within this week, because it was our show with Alpha. So thank you for watching. Watching that interview, you could just see, if you didn't know who he was and you are living under a rock, that's probably why 215,000 people viewed that show. So crazy.
Yeah, I think it's like you're saying, Mo was doing it, right? Like just searching to where is some media content that I can learn more about this amazing person. And we just happened to be the last interview that he did. But any of your interactions, and we saw it, from afar at different events, his enthusiasm and passion is like infectious. If you're around him, you're going to get fired up and excited about whatever it
Yeah.
is that you're doing.
Yeah. Crazy. We have, that was what we really wanted to talk about in our check-in. Just, we want to acknowledge and pay respects to Alpha and his family, because we've been I think everyone has been up and down all week. And so, yeah, we do have Pastor PK Thompson, who's going to come on and talk about the amazing work that he's doing in Southern California. The tour, the U.S. tour that's happening to help with building at their church, and that this group is coming to help raise money for Dominguez Samoan Congregational Christian Church. So we're excited to share that conversation with y'all, and we can do our community announcements.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
I'll let you.
Okay. Where are we? Fatasi and APRI present Box Fit Fun with Will Shaw at the lab in India Basin Shoreline Park. It's a free 13-week program. It started May 11th, so it runs on the Sundays. It goes through August 3rd. 11 through 15-year-olds are from 1 to 2:30, and 16-year-olds are from 3 to 4:30 p.m. You can click on the link in the flyer to register.
Yeah. Let's see. Join Samoan Solutions for their karaoke and painting on Friday, June 27th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's to raise money to save them Alta. It's a great cause. Rachel Sua Joris from Toa Arts will be leading a creative painting session, and they'll set the mood with friendly karaoke competition. if competition is friendly. All proceeds will help keep Lemauta open. Scan the QR code on the flyer to purchase your tickets.
Friendly competition. Friendly
Friendly.
competition. All right.
Oh,
Pacific Feats is having their 4th annual music festival. We don't know the lineup yet, but we do know where it's going to be. It's going to be at the Shoreline Amphitheater this year. And we do know the dates, July 12th and 13th. You can check out their website for more information, pacificfeatsfestival.com. And as always, get your tickets early because they're
they
going to
they're
they're
gonna
going
sell.
to they're going to sell out. Yep.
Say Hey Celia presents Comedy Night at Billy Roy's on July 18th at 7 p.m. Check out Pacifica comedians Celia, Leela Kay, and Corinne Salnave, and Brianna Joy, and Elvin Maglinti. Fremont at 3909 Thornton Avenue. Click the link in their bio at Billy Roy's Burger Co. to get tickets or purchase them at the door.
That looks like a fun night
I
there.
know, I might go to that.
Let's see.
Creative Pacific Fashion Show.
Creative Pacific Fashion Show. The aforementioned Creative Pacific Fashion Show is happening July 31st to August 2nd in Utah, and it is now in honor of the man we were talking about, Afahalu.
Afalu. Yeah. This is huge. Dominguez Samoan Congregation Christian Church Ifakaisa presents Punialawa'a U.S. Tour 2025. The tour is starting August 2nd in Los Angeles. And look at all the Seattle, Texas, Utah, and ending in Las Vegas. Don't miss your chance to catch them at a city near you. Limited tickets per venue, and proceeds will benefit the building fund for Dominguez Samoan CCC Ifakaisa. Scan the QR code for more information.
And stick around because Pastor Thompson's going to explain it way better than we are and better
Yeah.
than the slide does, right? So, Alma Uso's 10th annual Family Day Barbecue is August 16th. It's a special event dedicated to celebrating community and honoring the memory of their late founder, JT Mawia. Free health screenings, free live performances, free music, free food, free raffles. Everything's free. Family games, resources. There's a whole part of the event is just community resources and so much more. Bring your family and friends for a day of fun, connection, and make new memories together. And as always, the mantra, leave the drama at home. And they always have. This has not been an event that's had issues. So looking forward to their 10th annual event.
Here are their vendors. If you're interested and you want to be a vendor, contact all my Usos.
And look at that. Kona Ice free. All things dipped free. Everything up there. They're going to have vendor booths there, and unlike any other event, you can walk right up there and get yourself some free stuff.
Free sample. Rhythmic Catalyst presents Josh Totofi on September 4th at the Center for Performing Arts in San Jose. Special guests, Kenya and everyone's favorite tag team, MC's Western Conference. Get your tickets now at joshtotofimusic.com.
And last but not least, our 2025 for $25 PBD campaign still going on. Feel free to scan the QR code to donate. Thank you to everyone who's donated thus far, and we always appreciate your contribution, whether it's $25 or any amount that you see fit. So we're getting ready to play our interview that we had done, and I'm going to read Pastor's bio, and then you can hit the video. Is that good?
Sure.
Okay. So, Reverend PK Thompson is the senior pastor of the Dominguez Samoan Congregational Christian Church. He's a PhD student at the Claremont School of Theology and a devoted husband to Mei Lin. Together, they're raising 4 amazing daughters, Daisy, Asenati, Fonoa, and AJ. From leading his congregation to pursuing a doctorate, Pastor PK shares how culture, purpose, and love guide his path. He'll give us a sneak peek into something exciting on the horizon. And yeah, the Punialawa'a USA Tour 2025, and he'll explain way better than we will about how important and how big this event is.
Pastor PK Thompson during COVID. So it's been a minute. And so we just wanted to welcome you back on FICA. Before it was Koviki Talk.
Yes.
Now we have the honor and pleasure of having you on Koviki Talk. Pastor Thompson is the pastor, of course, for Efaka Esa in Dominguez Hills in Compton, California. And they've recently received exclusive rights to Puni Alava'a to host their USA tour this August, starting in Los Angeles and hitting all kinds of cities, and then ending in Las Vegas in the month of August. So we just want to get into that, but we also want to have you introduce yourself, and we'll go into, life and how we got to this point, Pastor.
Great.
Welcome.
Yeah, well, Talofa, Carl, and Naki, thank you so much for having me on. It's an honor and a privilege on my part as well to be here with you all. You do great work in the community, and also just great at, the information that you share with our folks. So blessing to be here. Reverend Pausa Kayo Thompson, or folks call me Reverend PK Thompson. And I am married to my lovely partner, Maylene Thompson, and we, as you said, we pastor the Samoan Congregational Church in Dominguez, which is a part of Compton, California. And so we're on our 6th year now, coming up on our 6th year. So yeah, we came in during COVID, and a lot of things have changed since then, but just excited to be here right now. We have 4 daughters: Daisy, Asenati, Fonoa Lemaota Falepule, long name, Samoan name, but we call her Fonoa. And then the boss of the family, Miss Analulu Justice, AJ, and that's our family.
Must be the baby, because the baby is usually the boss, or the oldest one is the boss.
Yeah, I think the baby is the boss of our family.
Awesome. So Reverend PK Thompson, let's start with your career. I just want to start with that and how you found your calling. And where did you have to go to school? What's your educational background, just to let kids know if they're interested in this route that you're in?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I gotta say that my calling to ministry is part of my sort of it's a tradition in my family. It's in the blood. My grandfather was one of the very first ones to set up camp here in Los Angeles back in the 50s. And so my parents are also pastors. Funny thing about it is I tried to avoid this calling for a really long time. I just didn't think it was, it was for me. Seeing the struggles that your grandparents went through, my mom and my dad went through as well. And I think for me, coming into the ministry, I entered into ministry through community work. And I really kind of, looked at, the different ways of how I could serve. I was one of those who was constantly on the outside. I had lots of complaints and lots of worries and concerns. But I also said to myself, what's the best way to make an impact? And, I had the sort of that tradition, and then that trajectory was always there from the beginning, and I was always avoiding it. And so, had a conversation with my mom and got married to my lovely wife and entered into Samoan Seminary in American Samoa, the Kananafo Theological Seminary in 2011. And after that, I was just, motivated to continue on with my education. And I ended up applying to Union Theological Seminary, which is a part of Columbia University in New York City. And that is sort of the religious arm of the university. And we pursued graduate work there for a master's degree. And we went there with our 2 daughters at the time, and one was in the oven. And so, just imagine navigating the subways in Manhattan as a family of four, soon to be five during that time. So that was interesting. That was very interesting. And that opened my mind up to a lot of justice work, activism, being in New York City. I met lots of Samoans there.
Oh, wow.
And I was fortunate enough to connect with my mentor, and her name is Anne Marie Tupuola Plunkett. And Anne Marie was a Fulbright scholar to Columbia, and she's also earned the Fulbright Teachers Award
Wow.
as a professor there in Columbia. And she was my advisor for my master's thesis. And so I wrote a thesis while I was there on Fa'afafine and Fa'afatama and how the church needs to open up and listen more to those voices that I felt very deeply and still do feel very deeply are often unheard or avoided. And so after that sort of journey there, we traveled to Boston and I did another, master's degree there at Boston University. I was just kind of following in the trajectory of justice work. And for those who don't know, Martin Luther King Jr. Also was a PhD student at Boston University. And so I was looking for that sort of, dealing with the framework of the United States and just trying to find my voice. And I ended up, also meeting more amazing Samoan community folks while I was out there. One of them by the name of Moana Benton, who is a leader in the community for 30 years. She has been head of alumni services at MIT. And
Jackie.
Hey.
is one of course, build up the sanctuary, but two, also build a multi-purpose sort of hall or space or fale here where the community can use it, 5 to 6 days out of the week and have it just be open to programs that cater to our people, whether it be the young folks who need after school help, right, from their own, and the elders who've just got lots of knowledge and wisdom to share with those young folks. And part of the challenge is especially in Southern California, prices are crazy. Like it's really hard to get your hands on great real estate out here to hold space like that, and then say, we're a church and our first priority is the people, because God's first priority is the people. And so I'm Samoan and I need to do something for my Samoan people. And so this is where this came along. And then in having conversations with Nanai from Punya Lava'a, they just jumped on and say, hey, we'll help you guys out with that. We'll come on over there and do a tour. And it was a year of conversations happening, meetings back and forth. And, here we are, literally 2 months out or a month and a half out, to our first show in LA. So that's sort of the vision and the inspiration behind all of these concerts right now.
That's so exciting. It's like this will be, you were speaking about, this was the last kind of tour for the Reverend.
Yeah. So they're coming up on their retirement. Reverend Lale and Vini Peteru, who are Lale is the founder. Of course, Vili came on, a few years later, but 50 years of music.
Wow.
And, a lot of folks, they're also pastors who have been pastoring their congregation in New Zealand as well. And from our shared conversations that we've had together, their whole thing is, it's probably time for, Nanai and Punya and the rest of them to sort of take the lead as far as the band is concerned, which they're pretty much doing right now. Yeah. But this would kind of be one of those times where they say, all right, we're just going to come and do a 5-6 city tour. And, we're going to go and retire and spend time with our grandkids. So I'm just thankful that they're able to, commit and make the trip, and come out, because, touring's not easy, especially when you're getting up there in age. And so I'm just excited to have them on board. Yeah.
I'm excited too because their music I've been listening to it since I was a little girl, and now my kids are listening to their music, and it's just going to carry on from generation to generation because it's so good. Yeah. And we all connect to the music at some time or some point. We hear the song and we remember, oh, I was with my mother, or I was at a Siva, or I was here or there, to the music. I love that they're touring all the cities. Let me just pull up the flyer real quick.
Sure.
They'll be in Los Angeles. That's their opening night on August 2nd. Mm-hmm. And then off to Seattle, which has a huge, community there, Pacific Islander community. Mm-hmm. Killeen, Texas, August 15, El Paso. All these places have a huge PI community. Salt Lake City, of course, and then closing in Las Vegas, Nevada. Like, were you involved in booking these venues, or the dates are connecting? Are they going to other churches to play? Yeah. Or
so funny thing about that, before I went into ministry, I lived overseas in Germany for about 10 years. And I figured, the best way to survive is to learn the language. I'm very fluent in German, and I read and write German as well. And I did promotion. I used to promote concerts when I was out there, some pretty big concert venues and things like that while I was out there in Europe for those years. And so I figured, hey, what better way to recycle your talents and, and do it for God. Right. And so I figured, okay, I'll give it a shot again. And then, put together a team within the church because we're the ones that are hosting it. Mm-hmm. And I've got great folks on the committee that I have right now. And then what I did was just give them all kind of delegate and then go out to your cities, do site visits and things like that. And they were just amazing. And, and this is all with sort of, in conversation with Punya Lava. So where's the need, right? Like, where's your fan base really wanting you to come out that you haven't toured yet or performed yet? And so obviously Los Angeles is going to be great. Seattle, like you said, huge community out there. Same thing with Salt Lake City and Las Vegas. But one of the more interesting ones was the amount of soldiers, the amount of messages that they would get from soldiers out in Killeen, which is Fort Hood, Texas. That's the western part of Texas, the eastern part of Texas. And then you have El Paso, which is, also a huge community of not only active military, but also retired military. And so that's why we specifically focused on those locations to make sure that we cater to our people wherever they're at. So, yeah, we're still, doing some promoting and trying to, get my promotion days back up. But,
You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And will it just be them, or where every city they go to, will there be opening groups or church choirs?
Yeah. So, for example, here in the Los Angeles show, we've got the legendary Jerome Gray. Fanana Jerome Gray will be performing, and he's good buddies with Lale and Bingy as well. We've got the Fiva Boys, who will also be performing. Tanel is going to also be a part of that show as well. More to come, more announcements to come as far as the dance group, local dance group of Samoa Matalasi. Our MC will be one of our folks who goes by the name of Tapuala, and he's huge in Samoa as far as the Samoan media is concerned. But also Jane Senuefo, who's huge on TikTok as well and Instagram, and she's just an amazing MC, and she's just funny. She's just crazy funny, and she also sings as well. And so those are the folks, and more to be added. As we continue to move forward with all of the projects. And then one of the ones that we're trying to secure right now, we're in conversation with FIA, because FIA is also local in Las Vegas. Mm-hmm. So, we're really trying to just build up the experience. And one is also to have it an intergenerational show, where the music of yesterday, the beauty of, because you don't have a FIA or a Tanel without a Punya Lava.
Definitely.
And so for these two worlds to collide on this evening is really great. And I think the way that we're theming the evenings is a very semi-formal, very unique evening, where it's table sitting, dinner and dessert, drinks, whatever, great atmosphere. And so that's really what we wanted it to be. And then what Lale had shared is really, they're going to tell a story for 2 hours as they perform. And it's just going to be a unique experience. I don't think folks have experienced Punya Lava in the way that we're trying to bring it together for this U.S. tour.
It sounds like it's going to be very intimate, and that's a really good way for the audience and the fans to really get to know them. Yeah. So that's going to be a great concert. Is it going to be at the church? I'm sorry.
No. So the venues, as you see on some of those flyers, though, it's not on these flyers, but there's a second wave of flyers and social media that's going to come out soon. But they are all, the venue in Los Angeles is at a place over in the San Pedro area of Los Angeles. But it's a huge venue that with a capacity of about 2,000 in that venue as well. Seating comfortably seats 1,500 or so. But the venues are very elegant. One of them, in Seattle, it's at Muckleshoot Casino, where they hold a lot of things over there. In Las Vegas, it'll be at the Palace Station as well. And so the venues are huge. The venues are great. So we just wanted to cater to the experience of the night.
Wow, that sounds amazing. I just might make a
trip. I also wanted to mention, Naki and Carl, is I am also opening up the each of the evenings to CBOs, community-based organizations that are Pacific Islanders, Samoan, whatever you are, to come and table. And we've got amazing nonprofits that are going to be tabling, and I'm just opening it up to them. If you want to table, get a hold of us, contact. I mean, I really want folks to come and see the amazing work that our people are doing around all of those cities. And so LA, we've got about 4 or 5 nonprofits who are going to be tabling at the events as well. And I just want them to experience the work our amazing folks are doing.
That's so awesome. I was going to ask if there
Yeah.
was CBOs that were going to be
Oh, yeah.
giving resources. That's so awesome. I love that.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Carl, you had a question and I
was
cut
going to
you off.
ask, are the pastors, are they getting excited? I know it's a lot. It's taxing to go on tour, but with the venue and the format and the linking different generations, are they excited for this?
They're super excited. I mean, I've been in conversation with Reverend Lale and Father Tuavini, and one of the things that was so interesting is like, okay, so you're going to come on tour, okay, we're going to fly you here and there, and then Lale was like, you know what, I really want to see America, you know what I mean, and like, can we just drive from place to place? I'm saying, are you sure you're up to that? He's like, and then, they shared, like, we love driving. We want to see, it's a great time in the summer, and so you'll be seeing the Punyalava tour bus, just all around to all of those different cities. And so look out for it. We have folks like Island City Media Group who are doing the Holo Holo festivals as well. And they'll be documenting all of this. So definitely look out for the tour bus.
Oh, that's so awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Island City. Island City does a great job.
They do great. Yeah. They're amazing. Yeah.
What's that, Carl?
Drive from Killeen to El Paso. The drive from Killeen to El Paso. Not a whole lot out in West Texas from a viewpoint, but it is America, right? That is a.
It is. It definitely. I know that's a long stretch because Texas is huge. You know what I mean? It's like driving from north to south. South to north in California upwards, right? But Texas is the other way around. Straight across. So. Yeah, it's going to be great. We're just totally excited. They are too as well.
And with this tour, they have six cities that they'll be hitting. Is there a chance of it going to more cities possibly later?
Yeah,
because I know it's going to sell out. It's definitely going to sell out.
Yeah, we definitely are confident that the shows are going to be great, especially because the ticketing and the seatings are limited. And then, you're not standing. You just got a great seat and you're enjoying a show and a full meal and everything else. But we do have it potentially slated to have a part 2 of this next year. And we're looking at locations like the DC area in the East Coast, New York, Boston, also folks up in Missouri.
Yes.
But we wanted to do California. Yeah, we wanted to do Cali as well and so we're looking to also explore up in the Bay Area to have them come down there and do a Cali show. And so all of that is still in the works and in the planning right now. But prayers that this show is really great, which I'm sure it will be. But yeah, definitely look out for a part 2 of all this. Yeah.
And if this all goes well, Reverend PK, you might have your second job. You'll be that's everybody will come to you to promote.
People are always telling me, yeah, if your ministry doesn't work out, you can always, take up promoting again. I said, well, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. That's so awesome. We're looking forward to the concert. I know that are the tickets on sale now?
Yes, the tickets are live right now on eventbrite.com. And if you just if you go on eventbrite.com, also on that flyer, there is the QR code on there. It'll take you to all of the collections, the 6 events, and we've got the VIPs and certain tiers. Also, I wanted to just make sure that folks are aware that each of the events gets a unique booklet of our sponsors and Punyalava are sharing their stories, and that's all unique to each and every one of those events. And so for the prices that you see on that Eventbrite, you really get a lot. And we wanted
Agreed.
to make sure that we did that intentionally, to make sure that folks walk away from this and say, this was the best Punya Lava show that I've experienced here in the U.S.
Well, most definitely, especially when it could possibly be the last tour for Reverend Lale and
Yes.
crew. So
Yes.
I'm definitely looking forward to it. I know that you have, you have Pese and you have dinner and all the tours probably waiting for you. So we don't want to keep you too long. But is there anything else you want to get out before we let you go? We're so grateful to have had you on to speak about this amazing tour that's touring the U.S. Starting August 2nd. Is there anything else, Reverend PK, you want to get out before we let you go?
Well, I just wanted to also, put a call out there to folks who are listening, and in all of those cities. I also wanted to, open this up for local acts, local talent in Colleen, in El Paso. If you're Samoan, Pacific Islander, whatever, and you can tell a great joke, and you're the future, I don't know, Tofinga, and this is a great opportunity to come on in and just do your thing. If you're a singer, right, whatever it is, and it's really about going from city to city, but also highlighting and giving more visibility to the local folks, our people who are out there and what they're doing there. If you're a vendor and you want to come in also, in places like Colleen and El Paso, that's open as well. I don't have set pricing for anything. This is all a fundraiser.
Yes.
And so, as we do in Samoa, we don't really, if you're going to show up and you're going to do your thing and you're going to add to the event, I'm always
going to
open
volunteer your time.
That's
Yes.
right.
For
And
a
so,
great cause.
yeah, it is a great cause. And, I just hope that, I can collaborate with other folks who are interested in this project. And it's definitely not mine, but I'm hoping to start the conversation for more folks to come in and say, let's do this together, right? And so, yeah, hopefully it's a success. Thank you all so much for having
Thank
me.
you so much for joining. I got a singer in Texas. I'll email
All right.
That's
That's
But
awesome.
thank you so much for joining us this evening. We will continue to share the flyer. If people want to get a hold of you to be a vendor or to be join the local act, how can they do that?
You also have on that flyer my contact information, but you
okay.
can also you can contact me at 917-723-1893, or the Dominguez Samoan Church. That's our Facebook. We're also on Instagram as well. That's probably the best way to get a hold of us. Yeah.
Awesome, Pastor. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward. We can't wait to see all the promotional videos that Island City Media will be doing, all the photos. We're going to try to get down there August 2nd. If not, catch you in Las Vegas because I can go to Vegas. Possibly Muckleshoot, but
yeah.
Thank you so much,
PK
Reverend.
Thompson could stand for pastor or promoter Thompson.
Yes.
I can hear
Yeah.
all the thought and processes going into that.
You never know.
Well done.
Yeah.
Done.
As a PK, as a pastor's kid myself, and then promoter, it just works. Yeah.
You never know. You never know. You never know. Thank you so much for your time. Please send our love to Faletua and the family. And we will check in with you as we get closer. We'll possibly have you back on again. Let's talk about it.
Thanks, Carl. Thanks, Naki. Love you guys so much. And
love you. Thank you so much.
Bless you.
Love you all.
All right. So we're little. That was awesome. Pastor PK is a man of many talents. A man of many talents. How about that?
Yeah, and he's doing it. When you think about it from a promotion standpoint, he is getting the local acts together. He's doing what a promoter, if you were going to be a boxing promoter or a music promoter, those are all the standard moves of people that are on tour. So fantastic way to put things together. And look at the church. Look at what, we got Instagram, we got Facebook. We're putting tours together. It's refreshing to see the churches being this kind of
Yeah.
thought forward.
So look for Punialawa'a USA Tour 2025 coming to a town near you. Like he said, if you're a local artist and you'd like to donate your time to perform or open up, get a hold of Pastor PK and follow the church on Instagram and Facebook, Dominguez San Juan Congregational Christian Church. How about that? Yay!
That's going to be
Great
fun
job.
to see. And it's a tour. They're
It's a
on tour.
It's a tour.
Good for
And
them.
more dates there's going to be a part 2. So more dates will be added. I believe he said next year. So awesome. Big shout out to Pastor PK Thompson and the church for putting this event on. And again, the proceeds will go to help further fund to repair the building. So there you go. I did want
to do a whole bunch of bingo squares to put up the money that they're going to put up.
Yeah. So yeah, I did want to this past week, I went to a graduation party. So big shout out to my nephew, Israel Alepati, who graduated from Chico. He got his Bachelor's of Science degree.
Did you go to Chico?
He went to Chico.
Did you? I mean, is that where you went for the graduation?
No. The graduation.
Oh,
that's
the party.
Where he went. He lives in the Bay. His family lives in the Bay Area. My cousin Matt and his wife, Liz, their son graduated. So I went to the graduation on Saturday. It was in Concord. It was such a great time. But yes, I just want to shout out. There's so many graduations going on, and I'm so it's awesome that everybody's kids are graduating. High school, junior high, college, getting their masters, and Pastor PK is working on his doctoral. So there you go. How about that?
Doing it. How about that?
Actually doing it. Thank you so much for tuning in this evening. Thank you for your patience while we went through our technical difficulties. We appreciate you. Anything else before we split?
I think that's a good hour.
It's a good hour. It was a great hour. Again, thank you to Pastor PK Thompson for joining us this evening. We are here every Thursday at 6 p.m. Come back to FICO with us.
Love you all.